Hey everyone, so you're looking to start a business in Nepal? That's awesome. You've probably got a million things on your mind, your product, your team, your marketing. But what if I told you that the very first decision you make, before any of that, could literally set you up for success or for failure? That's what we're talking about today. Let's dive right in.
We're not talking about your brand or your amazing idea. We are talking about your business structure. I know, it might sound a little dry, but trust me, this is huge. It's going to affect everything: how much tax you pay, how much personal risk you're taking on, and even whether you can get funding down the road. Okay, so what are you even choosing from? Well, in Nepal, you've basically got four main paths you can take on your entrepreneurial journey. Think of it like choosing a trail up a mountain. Each one has its own views, its own challenges, and is suited for a different kind of climber. So, let's meet the big four.
All right, first up, we've got the sole proprietorship. You can think of this as the solo flight. It's the simplest, quickest way to get started. If you're a freelancer, a consultant, or running a small local shop, this is probably what you're thinking of. But here is the absolute key takeaway. You and your business are one and the same in the eyes of the law. There's zero legal separation.
Next on our list is the partnership firm. This is the team venture. Pretty self-explanatory, right? You're not flying solo anymore. You've got a co-pilot, maybe a whole crew. You and your partners share everything: the work, the profits, the headaches. And it's all built on a formal agreement, which is basically your team's rulebook. Super important to get that right.
Okay, now we're getting to the one you've probably heard a lot about, especially if you're in the startup world: the private limited company. I call this one the scalable startup. This is a total game changer because it creates a whole new legal person. Seriously, your company can own property, sign contracts, and the most crucial part, it builds a wall between your business finances and your personal finances. If you're thinking big, planning to scale, or looking for investors, this is almost always the way to go.
And last but not least, we have the public limited company. This is the market player. And honestly, this is the big leagues. We're talking about massive operations, hydro projects, huge factories, companies that need to raise serious cash by selling shares to the general public on the stock exchange. It gives you incredible credibility for sure, but whoa, the amount of rules and regulations you have to follow, it is a whole different ballgame.
All right, so we've met the contenders. Now for the fun part, the pros versus cons showdown. This is where the rubber meets the road, because understanding these critical trade-offs is exactly how you're going to figure out which one is the perfect fit for you.
Now pay close attention here, because this is probably the single most important concept we're going to talk about. It is all about liability. On one side, you've got sole proprietorships and partnerships. Here, there's what's called unlimited personal liability. That means if your business goes into debt, there is no firewall. They can come after your house, your car, your personal savings, everything. Now look at the other side, private and public limited companies. Here you have limited liability. Your personal stuff is safe. The company's debt stays with the company. This is a huge, massive deal, and you really need to understand this difference.
Okay, let's dig into this table and really compare the most popular options side by side. The sole proprietorship, man, it's so tempting, right? It's super easy and cheap to get going, and you're the boss, 100%. The catch? That terrifying personal risk we just mentioned. Then there's the partnership. It's great to have a teammate to share the burden, but you're now on the hook for your partner's mistakes too. And let's be honest, disagreements can turn ugly fast. And then you have the private limited company. It gives you that amazing protective shield and makes investors love you. The trade-off? Yep, more paperwork, more rules, and it costs more to set up and maintain.
So, with all these pros and cons, how in the world do you actually pick one? Look, there is no single best answer. The real question is, which structure is best for your business and your goals? To help you figure that out, we've got a super simple 5-point checklist for you. Just run through these 5 questions. 1. What's the nature of your business? Selling services online is way different risk-wise than running a manufacturing plant. 2. How big do you want to get? If you're planning to stay small, that's one thing. If you're shooting for the moon, you need a structure that can handle that growth. 3. Are you going to need investment? If the answer is yes, or even maybe, you're almost certainly looking at a private limited company. Investors demand it. 4. What about taxes? Different structures are taxed differently, so it's worth looking into. And number 5, how much risk are you comfortable with? Be honest with yourself about protecting your personal assets. If you think through these 5 points, the right answer will start to become pretty clear.
Okay, let's wrap this up with some real-world stuff. We're going to look at some expert tips and, maybe more importantly, some of the common mistakes people make. This is the wisdom from the trail that'll help keep you on the right path.
Here's a perfect practical example.
Imagine a startup founder. She's got this killer idea for an app, but she knows she's going to need money, like angel investor money, to actually build it. So what does she do? She registers as a private limited company right from the get-go. This is totally strategic. It's because that's the only way she can sell shares of her company to investors and give them that all-important limited liability protection they're looking for.
Now, let's flip that on its head. Think about a family-owned grocery shop in your neighborhood. Are they looking for venture capital? Nope. Are they planning to open 100 branches? Probably not. Their main goal is to keep things simple and keep costs down. For them, a sole proprietorship is absolutely the perfect choice. The paperwork is minimal, which means they can spend their time focusing on what really matters, their customers.
All right, let's talk about what not to do. These are the common mistakes we see all the time. Number 1, just rushing into it. Picking a structure without thinking 5 years down the road. Another big one, ignoring the compliance stuff, the annual filings, and then getting slammed with fines. Oh, and this one's huge, mixing your personal and business money. Don't do it. It creates a nightmare. And finally, trying to DIY the whole thing without talking to a lawyer or an accountant. Seriously, these are easy traps to fall into, but they're also easy to avoid if you're careful.
So how do you get it right? Here are a few pro tips. First, remember you can evolve. It's totally okay to start as a simple sole proprietorship and then upgrade to a company when you start making real money or taking on more risk. Second, if you're even thinking about foreign investment, just make it a private limited company. It's the gold standard, period. Third, if you have co-founders, get a shareholders agreement drafted before you do anything else. It will save you so much pain later. And last, keep good records from day one. Your future self and your accountant will be eternally grateful.
So there you have it. Choosing your business structure. It's so much more than just paperwork, isn't it? It's literally the foundation you're building your entire dream on. This one choice impacts your personal risk, your ability to get funding, and your capacity for growth. It's a big deal, so make sure you choose wisely.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. The business you're imagining, that big, amazing future you see for it, is the structure you're choosing actually built to get you there. Take a moment and really think about that. Make sure your foundation is as strong as your ambition. Thanks so much for tuning in.